Hello, Math Stars. We are on to comparing and ordering of whole numbers and decimals. That is page 24 and page 37 in your math packs. But I am going to first start with just a brief kind of general review page. It's a little bit less hectic than the pages in the packet. So we'll just start with this and then we'll move on to the other workbook pages. Okay, so comparing and ordering numbers. Really, you've been doing this for years. There's no simple trick to it. The only thing that you have to do is just line up the numbers. If you just line up the numbers according to their place values, then everything is fine. Please remind yourself of the place values. This was linked in our place value video. Okay, just remind yourself of make the decimal a little bigger there. Just remind yourself of the place values. Okay. So when we compare numbers, like I said, just line them up. So if this is 354, line it up with 543. Then you compare each place value. Just look down, starting at the largest. If they're not the same, that's fine. Then you find your answer. The 5 is bigger, so therefore, we can say that typical silly story, the alligator eats the largest number. Okay, so for 2, we have 201 and 301. Start comparing with the largest place value. The hundreds, the 3 is bigger. There you go. 748 and 98. You can add zeros. You can add placeholders to make sure that both numbers have the same amount of place values. And you look down, a 7 is larger than a 0, and that's greater. And you compare those. 8 is larger. So like I said, this isn't the most difficult skill, okay? But it does require practice because it's the easiest skills that people make the most mistake on, okay? So we look at number 5. We look down. The 4 is the same, so you have to move to the next place value. The 8 is the same, so move to the next place value. Then we have a 4 and a 3. The 4 is larger, and that is over here. Therefore, that is larger. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 2,305. The 5 is larger. 1,394, 1,387. 298, 1,000. Okay, and then we move to the middle. Directions, use greater than, less than, or equal to complete each problem, and that's what we've been doing. So you see these numbers are exactly the same. 1,282. All the place areas are the same, so they are equal. I have 3,453, 6,534. 6 is larger, therefore. We can tell that there's nothing in the thousands place here, and there's something in the thousands place here. That's larger. 6,403, 6,413. There's nothing in the tens place. There's a 1 in the tens place. That is larger. Okay, lining up decimals is important when you have to order numbers. So if I have 3, so if I have 343, and it's always, when you line numbers up, it's always best to line them up in the particular order that the numbers are in the problem. So 343, 434, 323. You compare going down. They want to go from least to greatest. So because this is the largest number, it's not going to go in the first spot. You want least to greatest. So you know the greatest number is this middle one, so you can write it down. Kind of took up my answer space here. So 434 is going to go at the end. Now I compare my 4 and my 2. The 4 is larger. The 4 is larger, so that's going to be my next largest. and then we know that this one is the smallest. I'm going to erase this so you can see the answer clearly. Okay. The bottom question says order from greatest to least. So remind yourself. Write it down, greatest, least, or use a G and use an L. Line up your numbers, 4,349, 4,348, 993. Well, there's nothing in the thousands place, therefore this is our smallest. $993. The 3 is the same, the 4 is the same. Now I have a 9 and an 8. Which one's the greatest? The 9. I always put a line through when I use it. 4,349, 4,348. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so why don't you take a moment? You can pause the video and you can order these two numbers. Okay. 454, 232. I have room up here. 843. Now we want greatest to least. Remind yourself the order you need to go in. 438. Oh, I just found what the greatest is. 843. 53. 454. And 232. We order these. 109, 901, 19. We want to go from least to greatest. Nothing in the hundreds place. So this is our least. 19. I have a 1 and a 9. 109, 901. So this page wasn't, like I said, this page wasn't the most difficult, but it's just keeping in mind, line up your decimals. So we can look at page 37. Turn to my booklet. And, whoops. Don't have all mine numbered. Here we go. Okay, and this is page 37. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the questions on this page, but I will go over a few, and then you can pause the video, complete the page yourself, and then check your work. I'll show the answers. Okay, so comparing and ordering decimals, again, just line up your numbers. That's the only trick to comparing and ordering numbers. And pay attention directions. Like this one's least to greatest. So L, G, L, G. Remind yourself what order you should go in. Okay, I have 514, 488. Sorry, I cut that off. Okay, I look at the first numbers. This 5 is larger, therefore it's greater. Okay, I'll do one from this section. Line up your numbers. 719, 692, 529. Look down. I want the smallest first. So what's the smallest in the hundreds place? A 5. So I'm going to put 529 here. Now I look again. I don't have to go to the next place value because each of these numbers are different. I have a 6 and a 7. The 6 would be the next largest. 692 and then 719. Okay, so let's look at question 10. Use these 6 digits, a 5, a 1, a 3, a 9, a 4, and a 7, to write the greatest number you can make. Well, greatest, you'd want the largest, the biggest numbers first. So that's your hint there. You want the least number, you want the smallest numbers first. Fill in the digit to make the sentence true. That's for the next set of directions. Okay, we want to make sure that this number is greater. So what digit has to go in the hundreds place to make this number greater? And the least digit. So what digit has to go in, let's see, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. What number has to go in this spot to make this sentence true? Okay. So I would pause the page and I will show you the answer key. This is the answer key to the page. Check your work. Okay. If you need to, pause it if you need more time. Okay. And I will now show you page 24. All right. Where is my page 24? I don't have my blank page, so I'm going to have to show you the answer page. All right. So here is page 24, and these are the answers. So if you didn't do the page yet, then stop for a moment, pause the video. The only thing to remember for comparing decimals is to line up the decimals to compare. Okay? On some of them, I wrote the numbers right underneath if I had to compare. And some of them I just answered, you can tell by looking. Right? And that is how you compare and order whole numbers and decimals.